Turning to health matters and a newly developed therapy designed to help those suffering from Parkinson's disease, Israeli Alex Curtin is the developer of an unconventional mind-body therapy called Gyro-Kinetics that has already helped thousands of those suffering from Parkinson's return to normal life. Curtin, who resides in Herzliya, teamed up with David Brin, managing editor of the Jerusalem Post, and together the two authored a new book, Goodbye Parkinson's, Hello Life. David Brin joins me now in the studio.
How are you, Laura?
Hi, David. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
First of all, David, tell us about the gyrokinetics technique and what exactly does it involve?
Well, as you know, gyrokinetics actually is about mind and body. It's a connection between mind and body. We know that the mind sometimes can control what the body does as well, and it needs to listen to the body at the same time. What Alex has done has to develop a therapy whereby it allows people to, it develops exercises which enable people to return to their balance. A lot of Parkinson's patients are frozen and can't move or tremble, and these exercises allow them to break through that barrier and allow them to move while they're exercising. And what he teaches is that if you can do it while you're exercising, you can do it in normal life as well. So that's basically the method.
David, obviously the method, like you said, involves a lot of exercises, but it appears to be more psychological. How does this work?
Right. Well, as you can imagine, someone who's diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, when they're first told by the doctor they have it, it's devastating. You know, it leads to depression, anxiety, and what happens is when they go see the doctor, they're a wreck. It's not just their Parkinson's symptoms which the doctor sees, it's also the anxiety, the depression, and thus they're prescribed medication for something which is much greater than they have. So Alex is able to work with the patients and help them understand they're not Parkinson's victims, they're not Parkinson's patients, they're healthy people with Parkinson's, and thus return them to a balanced state, lowering their depression, lowering their anxiety level, so their symptoms are much lower. When they go to the doctor, they'll be prescribed a much lower level of medication, which is much more effective in that way. And basically it's all changing the mindset from being a Parkinson's patient, which he calls his patients clients, Parkinson's clients. They're not patients. He teaches them how to be Parkinson's warriors and change your whole mindset of being a healthy person with Parkinson's as opposed to a sick person.
Can you give us an example of some of the exercises?
Well, I mean, Parkinson's patients tend to be very closed in, try to hide their movements, hide their hands because they're shaking. So he has exercises specifically for different parts of the body, from hands to feet to mouth. Like a lot of Parkinson's patients very much can't use their mouth very much, and they're very constricted. He has mouth exercises. The main thing he does is he combines music and movement. In a big part of it is conducting, using flourishing movements, and basically increasing a repertoire of what you can do. So it's revelatory for the clients who have come in kind of hunched over and shaking to suddenly be conducting and moving and dancing around, and they realize that it's something they can actually continue on in their daily lives, not just when they're on the mats with Alex. And in the book that we wrote, we included 20 exercises that is in addition to the theory behind it and how Alex gets the people to realize that they're not just sick people, but it includes 20 exercises that people can do at home and suggestions from music, and helps them to get on their path to become Parkinson's warriors.
How did the writing of the book come about?
It came about because I interviewed for the Jerusalem Post a man named Michael Wiese, and Michael is the head of a big successful publishing company based in California called Divine Arts. And Michael had come to Israel because he himself had developed Parkinson's disease about 3 years ago, and he had heard about Alex. And he, like many others, have come from abroad, from the States, from England, to be treated by Alex. So after our interview, he went to be treated by Alex for a week, and he called me before he left to go back to leave the country and said, "This is amazing. My life has changed. Alex is an incredible therapist. His story deserves to be told. You should write a story about him for the Jerusalem Post. And better yet, you should write a book about him, about his treatment, so everyone could do it, and I'll put it out."
And he introduced you to him, basically?
Yeah, he made the introduction. And so we met, and that was 2 years ago. It took us a year to write the book. Here it is. And
Goodbye Parkinson's.
it was
Hello,
published in the beginning of January.
It's been quite successful, from what I understand.
The Michael J. Fox Foundation has posted about it. The National Parkinson's Foundation has also endorsed it. It's available throughout bookstores in the United States and England, and Barnes and Nobles, etc. And obviously here it's available through Amazon or at any of the other mail order companies. We're hoping to actually translate it into Hebrew at some point in the future.
David Brent, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck with your book. Great work.
My pleasure. Thank you, Laura.
In other news, scores of